Scorpio. What's going on, guys? This is particularly a card from the Herbal Astrology Oracle deck. And this particular card that you guys are going to be, that I'm going to read here, is called for, is by Adriana Ayala's, and it's in the description, and then we'll go to the actual reading itself, right? The card here is Babisana, and that's trust. Self-love, heart retrieval, ultimate state of receivership, gratitude, receptivity, compassion. In the Shipibo tradition, Babisana is a highly respected master teacher that contains a plethora of medicinal benefits for the body, mind, and spirit. Native to the Amazon basin, many call the herb Serenita or mermaid. Beautiful paintings found in the Amazon among shamans depict her as a goddess, a deeply creative feminine spirit who has masterful healing abilities. Serenita de los Rios assists us in healing wounds of the heart, past, relationship, grief, loss, sadness, abuse, melancholy. And Babisana is often prescribed by a curandero or healer to heal wounds from childhood, for soul retrieval, or to heal a stunted soul that left fragments of itself in a painful past. Whether used as a single plant during specific shamanic cleanses, for purification or spiritual awakening, or brewed as a tea, Babisana assists us in deeply amplifying heart energy to experience the transcendent power of love, empathy, compassion, oneness, and freedom from pain. Babisana also grants the power of the expansive intuition and lucid dreaming. Many users, when ingesting Babisana through dietas or along other ceremonial brews, experience time differently, as if the barriers between walking life and dreaming get washed away. It is said that these transcendent experiences of love beyond space and time are what allows for miraculous heart healing. Now, this is the guidance portion. Babisana's bright and pink flowers bathe the energy body with softness of light, awakening the inner pathways to unconditional self-love. And Babisana reminds us that love is the highest state of receivership, reminding us not to forget the necessary power of self-love. Babisana assists us in rediscovering forgotten places within ourselves, retrieving fragments of our heart, seeking healing. Ask yourself, where in my heart's memory can I bring wholeness to? Babisana's medicine is like that of the whales and hummingbirds, the joyous record keepers of the sacred that assist us in assessing the reservoirs of the cosmic heart. Serenita is reminding you to pay close attention to the messages encoded in dreams, synchronicities, and symbols around you right now. Through those doorways, you can further explore the great mystery of your heart's desire. Now, first off, Scorpio, I think I have a lot of Scorpio energy, basically. So, if you guys, I think you guys need to understand first off, Scorpio rules over psychology. Right, the healing psychology, the healing that a psychologist brings, the healing that is capable of psychology, right? So, the idea of, for instance, if two people go into a therapist session and one's like a heavy Scorpio versus another one, the Scorpio may be more silent during the actual session, because the true session, the true psychological healing, it happens in the car ride home when they review back on that session. that is, it's very important that we start there, because I want you guys to understand something. When you hear healing, when you hear things like self-love, when you hear things like being able to really recover yourself, Scorpio it's hard, because I think it's hard for a lot of Scorpios to hear a lot of times, because there's a shell that a lot of us come up with to really protect ourselves in a lot of cases. I'll say I'm gonna stop identifying so heavily with this reading, but the idea here is that a lot of you may have had this understanding that uh, there is something that you that may be that you may be prioritizing before your actual healing takes place, and that is something that you may need to reconsider, because what this tells me is that you should really trust the benefits that you're going to get in the healing that you may be avoiding. So the idea of, particularly like when you move into soul retrieval or recovering from childhood wounds, this shell that a lot of you may be putting up may be enabling you to completely ignore this, to completely ignore what needs to happen. And you would be surprised. You would be truly and very much surprised at the idea of any type of session where you sit down and you start to really think about and have someone start to ask you questions that you may need to think about. And like I said, the therapy session doesn't necessarily need to have something to where you come out in the open with. I think it's good to come out in the open and talk to people, but it's not necessarily something that happens all the time in the session, and you should understand that. You should realize that if there is something that you're putting in the way of your own healing, your own, really going through and digging through your own darkness, because Scorpio also rules over trauma, and that idea of traumatic things that have happened to you, that could have happened in the past. You should have an understanding that going through and addressing that, we may not see the immediate benefits. We may not see the immediate guidance, but you should really have an understanding that this session, let's say for instance you actually go to a psychologist or a therapist and you start to see about, just see them about general thoughts that you've been, their thoughts or feelings or emotions or whatever. You start to explore that with them. What you come out with may not necessarily be, oh my goodness, I feel so much better. It's more so that, oh my goodness, I have the power now to heal so many more people, and not to say that you guys need to start like, what is it, where the guy gets on a plane and he's like, oh, like he pretends to be a pilot. I forget that movie. Oh, Now You See Me, no, not Now You See Me. That's not it. Is it Now You See Me, Now You Don't? I forget what the name is. It's with like, dang it, I forget the actor. But the idea was he's just going through just as a straight up imposter. But don't do that. Basically, don't try to pretend that you have credentials to be a therapist if you don't. But the idea here is that through those conversations that you have every day, what you're able to do through that is something that you should very much be aware of. Like when you go through that, right, those benefits that you essentially, like, you start to realize more and more of this unraveling that needs to be done here. And it very much does need to be done in a lot of cases. And it's not something that's necessarily for you in your benefit and healing and feeling better, which is great and very much an immediate benefit. But this is something that could translate into how you can experience the rest of the world and how you can help the rest of the world as well.